back into the top four, with Harry Kane and Son Heung-min back in their telepathic groove. Normal service resumed at Tottenham, the resident disc jockey reached for the celebration playlist and on came Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Oh what a night. Late December back in '63, a time when, incidentally, Spurs were losing at home to West Bromwich Albion but nevertheless. Here was an emphatic second-half display and they swept aside West Ham with glee, piling a little misery on their visitors for good measure. Sure, this was part of the happy vibe, but moreover here was a feeling fueled by the sense of relief washing through the home fans because despite a spluttering run of form and some turgid viewing, they still every chance of finishing fourth. Still in the FA Cup and trailing by only one goal after the away leg of their Champions League last 16 tie against AC Milan, it could yet be a memorable season if it all comes together. Next up, another London derby at home against Chelsea. Son came off the bench and found the net within 5 minutes, an electric burst of pace and a touch to collect the pass threaded through by Kane and a confident finish to beat Łukasz Fabianski. Unlikely scorer Emerson Royal opened the scoring for Tottenham Hotspur in their 2-0 London derby win against West Ham. Tottenham assistant coach Christian Stellini took charge of Spurs with head coach Antonio Conte watching on from Italy. It was only his second Premier League goal since September, when he came on as a substitute, score 3 in a 6-goal romp against Leicester. If he's not careful, Antonio Conte will decide this is his best role in the team. Son shared the limelight with Emerson Royal, scorer of the opening goal, in a sweeping counterattack featuring a most unlikely cast, with Ben Davies tearing forward to claim the assist from wing-back. Tottenham climbed above Newcastle into fourth, easing the pain for their absent boss Antonio Conte, watching from his home in Turin and texting messages, while preserving a perfect record for his assistant Christian Stellini. It is now 6 wins out of 6 for Stellini when deputizing for Conte, 3 wins here at Tottenham to go with 3 when they were at Inter. For West Ham, a miserable defeat and creeping relegation gloom, stuck in the bottom 3 with 15 games remaining, with nothing to show despite a promising start at Spurs, when Jared Bowen found space on the edge of the penalty box and crashed a shot wide within the first minute. It was an early scare for the home side, depleted in midfield, without Rodrigo Bentancur and Yves Bissouma, with Oliver Skipp paired with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg against the trio of Declan Rice, Tomas Sosek and Flynn Downs. Team selection was workmanlike from both angles and David Moyes would have taken encouragement as his team converted the extra midfielder into a short spell of pressure, forcing early corners and a few mistakes. It did not last. Tottenham warmed up and grew into the game. Christian Romero was running through his full repertoire of reckless sliding tackles and Conte's team were dominating by the time referee Michael Oliver rejected a strong penalty appeal, midway through the first half. There was no doubt the ball struck centre-half Thilo Kehrer on a hand. Crouching low to challenge Richarlison in a crowded penalty area, Kehrer stopped a pass intended Kane, trapping it between his left hand and the turf. Son Heung-min made it 2 for Spurs following a Harry Kane assist. Despite only coming off the bench in the second half, the 30-year-old forward started on the bench after a disappointing run of form, with Richarlison coming into the starting 11. Son scored after a burst of pace and a touch to collect the pass threaded by Kane before a confident finish into the net. There were distinct echoes of the Sosek handball against Chelsea, although that one actually deflected wide, a shot on target, and was not given. Again, West Ham got away with it. Fabianski did not have to make a save until required to keep out a long-range effort by Højbjerg, late in the first half. Then, he saved from Richarlison, and Romero beat Angelo Ogbonna in the air at a corner and headed over. Tottenham were a different proposition when they returned after interval, moving the ball around with greater urgency. Twice, they broke through onto Fabianski's goal in the early stages of the second half. First, Richarlison with a shot too close to the West Ham keeper. Then Dejan Kulusevski dispossessed Rice and found Kane, who dragged it wide from an angle. The breakthrough came when Højbjerg's wonderful long pass out of defence released Davies, who cut inside and found Royal unmarked to score with a first-time finish, a goal that seemed to go straight to his head. With his first child on the way, he stuck the ball up his jersey in celebration and was soon performing a no-look pass and shimmying through his Brazilian party tricks, egged on by the crowd who were signing his name, right up until he launched into a ridiculous lunging tackle on Rice. Luckily, it was so badly timed that he was nowhere near the West Ham captain and he recovered some of his composure by the time Son came on and linked up with Kane for the second. It is the 45th combination goal between them in the Premier League. There was no way back for West Ham, although in between the two goals, Tottenham were grateful for a fine save from Fraser Forster to deny Bowen, who sped onto a long ball touched on by Michail Antonio. The save was every bit as vital as the goals, and the clean sheet will be a boost for Forster, who was unfortunate to concede the rebound after making a miraculous reflex save against Milan in the Champions League last week. Here the keeper standing in for injured captain Hugo Lloris helped his team to 3 important points, teed up the songs of celebration. Lineups and match facts: Tottenham 3-4-3. Forster 7, Romero 7, Dyer 6.5, Lenglet 6, Perisic 78, Royal 7. 5, Skip 7.5, Sarr 89, Højbjerg 8, Davies 7, Kulusevski 7, Mora 90, Kane 7, Richarlison 6. 5, Son 68, 7, unused subs, Austin, Sanchez, Danjuma, Porro, Tanganga goals, Royal 56, Son 72 bookings, Skip, Perisic manager, Christian Stellini 7 West Ham 3-5-2. Fabianski 6, Kerrer 6, Ogbonna 6, Johnson 81, Agard 6. 5, Safal 5.5, Downs 6, Benrahma 72, Sosik 7, Rice 7.5, Emerson 6.5, Fornals 82, Antonio 5, Ing 72, Bowen 6. 5 goals, bookings, Antonio manager, David Moyes.